14 years. I recently started social impact investments, which is two NGOs. One is called Savora Foundation and the other one is ADESA. ADESA is also in the UK. It's actually registered in the UK. It stands for African Data and Engineering Science Association. Um, so I lived in Dubai for 10 years. My career started in Dubai. I worked for KPMG, I worked for Thomson Reuters, I worked for various other companies, then moved back home in 2020. And since 2020 up to now, which is close to 6 years, I have been advising governments on prevention of money laundering, prevention of financial crime, writing policies and procedures, corporate governance, risk management, and environmental and social and governance frameworks. I've worked for the government of Eswatini, I've worked for the government of Ethiopia, I've worked with USAID, I've worked with the East African Community, which is a regional government body, and many others. Yeah, that's it about me. I'm an author of 6 books, which I wrote before ChatGPT, just in case you're thinking. And I'm really just
Nice brag there.
excited to you know, yeah, it's good to mention. I mean, I've worked in different countries, and I think what we are discussing today is very relevant to my experience and what I've worked. I mean, living in the UAE, I worked in Qatar, I would travel to Oman, I would get jobs to travel back to Ghana. It's only Nigeria that I haven't been to. So I mean, being Nigeria, I should have gone to Nigeria by now. I'm very
Yeah.
disappointed with myself for not having gone to Nigeria, but it's in my plans, hoping
Right.
that the stars will align for me to find myself in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Wonderful. To be honest, I mean, you have quite an impressive CV. You worked for lots of government bodies, and 14 years. That's a long time, to be consistent in a field. So sorry, I think someone has just a message here. Fine. Oh, do you mind maybe leaving and joining again? Maybe it will help to resolve the issues. Someone says that he can't hear you speaking, Maureen, but let him just leave and join again. Then probably it will help him. But can anybody else can?
But
Yeah, is
we
anybody
will
else?
have to continue
Yeah,
in spite of the issues because maybe where they are, they don't have a strong Wi-Fi network. So
yeah. Okay,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, yes. Impressive CV again, Maureen. So I think so. My first question now would be again looking at all of your experience, right, with everything you've done. What would you say
Yeah.
is, especially, I think this is geared towards more, more like towards positioning oneself on a global level.
Yeah.
But what would you say is like the biggest misconception that people have, especially about like needing a job title or a foreign job or any other kind of stuff or visa before actually building global reputation? Do you think it's important to build it before, or you think maybe just when you get that big job, then you start building it then? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's important to build it before. You need to, first of all, visibility. Do you
Yeah,
have a strong LinkedIn? Do you have a strong LinkedIn network? Do
yeah,
you have a strong LinkedIn profile? Are you visible? That's where you start. If you want to move to a different country, you want to have a foreign job, you have to be visible. Nowadays we live in the age where you just Google someone, and if they're not on Google, you assume the worst, not the best. you know
yeah,
Especially if you're starting out a new career, or you want to move to a different country, especially in the Western world. You have to have a strong online presence. So
yeah,
that's number one. You have to engage with people on LinkedIn. You have to volunteer for things in your space. For example, if there's a webinar, you have to host it. If there's a webinar, you have to volunteer to be a speaker. Then you have to engage with other people on LinkedIn. Engage with people in the country that you want to go to. Engage with people in your area of work. It's very important. Visibility is first. Secondly, you have to build your expertise, you know, certifications.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest ways of building your expertise today. Sometimes many people do not have money to do a 4-year degree, so that's why I'm saying certifications are considered today. I've seen people getting very good jobs because they have the right certifications and they can do the job.
Yeah.
So don't say I don't have a degree, so I'm not going to get this job. No, the get a strong certification that is equally important, that has equal value, you know. So I'd give an example of my brother. My brother was is in America, he lives in the US, and he went as a nobody, as a nothing, and he went and started learning Salesforce. How did he get to learn about Salesforce? By just meeting with people who work for Salesforce and people who work for Salesforce on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And he got, digging deeper, he was told you can get a sponsorship to study for Salesforce. You don't need to pay for the certification, you know. So he got sponsored and started studying for Salesforce. And now he's getting more than 100,000 US, from certifications. He doesn't have a degree in his
Mm.
job.
Mm.
So those countries work differently, and um, so that's the other thing. Build your
Yeah.
expertise, and not just in certifications. Learn from the free services available. Learn from the free online services that are available.
Yeah.
There are so many. There's Google certificates, there's IBM, various others that are many.
Yeah. Yeah.
Secondly, on your online profile, you need to write articles. You need to write, you need to post on your social media. Okay. I have seen people who have GitHub, they lay out their experience and what they are learning. It's called continuing education. In today's world, education never stops because things are changing very fast. What
Yeah.
you read last year, there's an upgrade this year. What you read in 2022 is not the same as what people are reading right now. So it's, build a page, for example, either LinkedIn, GitHub, and the many others, where you can display your expertise. And from my experience, the more you post on LinkedIn or online, the more you appear on a Google search. For example, if right now, I mean, for ADESA, which is my NGO,
Yeah.
I've posted at least 15 times in the last 2 months. And if you Google ADESA, you will see all
All the
those posts
articles,
that I've
yes.
posted. It's amazing. I mean, AI is helping us to be more visible. If you Google Maureen Mutua, you'll see my books, you'll see everywhere that I've worked, you'll see my LinkedIn post. Then the other thing you need to have is a newsletter. Listen, you need to be influential. And how do you get influence? By making people listen to you. Okay? And
Yeah.
how do you make people listen to you? By making something special for them. I have 6,000 subscribers to my newsletter given by LinkedIn. Okay, yes, I have many years of experience, that helps, but you have to start from somewhere. You have to make yourself into who you want to be, so that's one of the things those are some of the things that I think people need to do to build
Yeah.
a global reputation. Thank you.
Oh, amazing stuff, amazing stuff. And I agree with you. I think a lot of it also has to do with, you writing a lot, finding, platforms that are probably
Yeah.
peculiar to your niche, right? They make your voice heard so that people can hear what you're saying, and then you gain
Yeah.
influence and followers. Okay, amazing, amazing
Exactly.
stuff. Um, so my next question here is looking at, say, when someone now has established, this global credibility, right? When someone is established, how does one sustain it, right? So that your career remains mobile even when, certain migration policies change. Again, this is sort of drawing
Yeah.
from your experience having worked in all these countries, and maybe looking at maybe particularly people who are more into creative arts, as against
Yeah.
purely tech.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that? Yeah. Mm.
Okay. One of the things that have sustained my career, I would say, is giving back. I
Mm.
set up ADESA to give back. I'm
Yeah.
not an expert in data analytics, in engineering. I'm not an expert in STEM. but ADESA has 2,000 members. Okay, I have members in Nigeria, Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Uganda, Tanzania. We've had webinars with these people. You have to think outside the box. You cannot think, okay, now I have the education, okay, now I have the LinkedIn, okay, now why isn't anyone reaching out? Think outside the box. People are still getting hired from Africa. Okay, now, do we all need to go to the UK? Can we fit in those countries? No. So think outside the box. Are there opportunities in your country that nobody is seeing? You know,
Yes, yes,
because
yes.
these countries cannot accommodate everyone. I have a guy friend in ADESA who is moving back to Kenya because he can't get a job in the UK. And he set up his own startup, he's doing
Mm.
his own thing, and he's engaging with people funding the STEM space, and he already got funding from the UK. So it's not always a job that is the answer. You know, sometimes, so through ADESA and Savora, I'm also applying for grants, you know. So grants are also being given to many African countries for various reasons: poverty alleviation, STEM education, digital skills, digital literacy skills. The list is endless. I have more than 100 links to apply for. It's me who doesn't have the time. So do not always
Yeah,
think, you know, because those countries are showing us, you know what, we don't want you to come to our country, we want you to stay in
yeah,
yours.
yours.
And
Yeah.
that's probably why they're giving so many grants. There's so many grants, you'll be shocked. And
Okay.
at the end of the day, what you need to do is to be strong and to survive. And if the world is going a certain way, you have to go that certain way,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're not wealthy and you don't have the resources to
Sourcing. Yeah.
stay where you are. You know, not everybody can do what they want. You know, most of
Yeah.
us are forced. We are forced to survive. We are forced to do some things. So, thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
Okay. One of
Yeah.
the ways is giving back. I know someone who went to Oxford, they went back to Nigeria, and now they run a robotics institute. And they
Mm.
have so
Interesting.
many students.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's how hard do you want this? How much do you want this? How hard can you work? That is, for me, that is every morning I like, Maureen, how much can you do today? There is so much to do, you know. So don't just sit and wait for a job. Those days are gone. Unfortunately, it's going to get worse with AI replacing so many people. In my career, for example, uh, you don't need me to write policies and procedures anymore. You don't need me to do that. You know, you can just go to DeepSeek or one of these
Yeah.
uh, or build agentic AI to do it for you. So everyone is affected. Not everyone, obviously, but many
Many.
people are going
Yeah.
to be
Many roles
affected.
affected. Yes. You're correct.
Okay, and the other thing is that if you apply for a job, there are 100 other people applying for the same job. Okay, so
Yeah.
you can't fight a losing battle. You have to think outside the box and decide, hey, can we as a group come together and set up something together and apply for a grant for it? Not funding. Don't go the startup route. There's so many startups, they want you to compete. Sometimes they steal your ideas. My idea has
Yeah.
been stolen, so I
Yeah.
don't do the startup thing anymore, you know.
Mm.
So do the grant route. There's so many grants, honestly, especially if you're really intelligent. And I know Nigerians, you're number one in Africa. That's the truth. You're very good in math and science and creating, and it's amazing. So you can get so many grants out here and work as a team. So it is us to help ourselves. Let's not wait for foreign policy to change, for Trump to say no more Nigerians in Kenya. If he says that, fine. We don't want to go to America. We are fine. You know? Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's
Amazing.
what I have to
Amazing.
say about that. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, I like the answers you gave because
Yeah.
it also relates, resonates with me personally because a lot of what you said I've personally also tried to apply
Yeah.
them, yeah, myself. And just like you two, I've also had one or two of my ideas stolen via the whole startup
Yeah.
process, and
Yeah.
I have also said another to go. But other than that, I mean, amazing answers so far. I mean, and I'm sure everybody too have the same, the same notion, and we'll get her to ask questions. So the next question will be, or
Okay, before I move on,
yeah,
just something recently happened to me here in Kenya, and there was a group for it's called okay, let me not say the name, but you know the way someone invites you to join a WhatsApp group, and you're like, "Ugh, I'll just join because my head is so far." But when I started reading the things they are talking about, I'm like, hey, these guys need a certification. They don't have a certification.
mm,
You know, it's a big group of 3,000, you know,
yeah,
lawyers, police, intelligence officers, all these kinds of people, and they don't have it. And I wrote them a proposal, and they said, we're going to start in July. So sometimes opportunities are right in front of you and you don't see them. So just learn to open your mind and to think. Take some time every day to think. Thinking is the most important thing you can do for your life, not just career, for your life. Take at least 2 3 hours of thinking. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? Will I get the results I want to get? Why do I think I will get those results?
yeah,
Finish the thinking. Don't say, what am I doing? Okay, I'm applying for this. Okay, then your thinking stops there. No. Am I going to get I don't have a certification in AML because I decided, am I going to get the results I want with an AML certification? And the answer was no. The certification was $2,000. I said, I'm not going to pay ACAMS $2,000 for certification. So I decided to write books. When you write a book, people say, wow, she's an expert. She knows what she's talking about.
yeah,
You write another one, they're like, wow. And so one of my books, I took at least 30 people from different countries. So even the book needs to be strategic, not just text, text, text. You
mm-hmm,
know, one of my books is interviews about my job. Tell me about your job, your day-to-day job. What are the challenges? What do you go through every day? What do you want to change? Do you think money laundry is going to those kinds of, that's one
questions,
of the books.
yeah,
And the first when I published the book, I got at least $20,000 in 1 month. And guess from where? India. India,
mm,
you know?
interesting,
And how? Through LinkedIn. I didn't have a website. I didn't have any other marketing. LinkedIn, LinkedIn, LinkedIn. I wrote this book. I started talking about the book 1 year before I wrote it. I'm writing this book. If you want to get involved, please reach out. And so, building momentum for your project. I'm starting this thing. Do you want to get involved? DM me, text me. It's
yeah,
about this, you never know who it's going to reach. And so one of the people I interviewed is from Australia. And guess what? From the day I published the book up to now, we still work together.
amazing
We
stuff,
still
yeah,
work together. Yeah. So you whatever you do, you have to do it with passion.
have
You
to
have to
complete
do it
it,
like, okay,
yes,
my life
depends on
depends
it,
on this. I have to do this well. I have to do this extremely well. I have to be committed. Be committed. Any life goal you have, and then you will tell me what happens. Whatever you apply for, even if you know you're not going to get that job, don't waste your time and energy. Use that energy on something that you feel, okay, this is more fruitful. This will bear more fruit for me. Okay, yeah, thank you.
yeah,
We can proceed.
okay, so the next question would be, I think, the audience also love this one would be, if a professional
Yeah.
wants to sort of audit their profile or their credibility today in today's world, obviously with all these AI, MLs and everything. If I want to audit my
Yeah.
profile today to know, at what stage I am, say what should be like the three clearest signs to look out for to know that
Mm-hmm.
you're either doing poorly or very well or excellently. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The first thing is evidence of your work.
Hmm.
Show us what you've done. Show us what you've done. Show us
Yeah.
what you've built. Forget who you've worked for. Forget that. Let's forget employment. What have you built with your skills? What have you built with your knowledge? What have you built in your career for you that nobody can take away?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
where it starts. Building, hosting a podcast is not nothing, nobody can take that away from you. Writing a book, nobody can take that away from you. You know, building an app, it will be your app forever. Nobody can take that away unless, the
Mm-hmm.
algorithm or whoever decides, no more apps,
Yeah. Yeah.
That is
Okay.
the first way to audit your professional and your credibility today. The other sign that you're ready for the global stage is be eloquent. Can you speak up for yourself? Can you negotiate? You know, if you go for an interview, do you
Mm.
listen and understand the questions? You have to be eloquent, confidence.
Yeah.
you know I think I was born with confidence. I don't fear anything. That's my, I think it's a weakness and a strength. you know I don't fear. I've Sometimes I walk I went to Eswatini as an example with the ministry of one of the ministries, I don't want to say, and just so confident, and the people are looking at me like, oh, she's so young and she thinks she can tell us what to do. I'm like, yes, I'm telling you what to do, because I
Mm-hmm.
got the job.
Yeah.
Most of these things you will get because your personality is appealing. People make decisions based on their emotion. As much as they lie to you that it's only your papers, no, no. You can have the best papers and people still don't like you. So be likable, be eloquent, be confident, and know when to say no. Don't say yes to everything. People will
Yeah.
respect you, and the respect of your peers. Know when to leave something, like, okay, I've done my best. They don't respect it. Let me go elsewhere. But even as you decide to go elsewhere, have a plan B. Don't just leave, you know you must always
Yeah.
have a plan B, always in life. Nowadays you must have a plan B. I think during my parents' time, they would stay in one job without fear. They just go to work at 9, they sometimes arrive at work at 10, and nobody can. It's not a big deal. You work somewhere for 30 years. That is gone. We
Yeah.
live in a different time. We live in a different time.
Okay.
And
Yes.
the other thing I want to say is that there are more than 7 billion people in the world. Think outside the box. I see the Chinese in Kenya and it shocks me. They identify opportunities that I'm like, oh my God, why didn't I think of doing that? The
Yeah.
most mundane things, they do it and they make a lot of money. Okay?
Yeah.
So I think my best country is China because they work
Yep.
like non-stop,
Yeah. And they're quite
you
innovative.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
They're quite
and they are
innovative.
quite fast and professional, and they do things well. They, the roads they've built in Kenya, they are amazing compared to the roads we've built for ourselves. Yes, it's our country, you know. So just look at someone or something that you can be like, and start emulating them, you know. The other thing is discipline. If you're not disciplined in your personal life, you will not be credible. Because let's say I give you a job and you come to work whenever you please, or you don't come at all, or you think you can't be fired, or many, many hours. You have to be disciplined with your time. You have to be disciplined in your personal life.
Yeah.
As a person, the people you surround yourself, you will become like those people. I'd rather not have friends than have bad friends, because friends influence you, whether you know it or not. They have a certain level of influence in your life. So even on LinkedIn, don't ask for too much from people.
Yeah.
Give, you know, give.
Give first.
Say,
Mm.
I just wrote you this DM to say this. But when you're always asking, people are stressed out here. People don't have much to give as you think. You know, you see, oh, he's a CEO. Let me ask. No, stop asking. the I think my ask is always like, I have this idea. Do you have 5 minutes? Can you go through it? That's
Yeah.
how I ask. Don't ask, oh, I need a job. No, no, no. I have this idea. Find it attached. What do you think? Just 2 minutes of your time.
Hmm.
One feedback. Just, that's how I ask, and then leave
Yeah.
it at that. If they decide to engage with you, then that's nice.
Yeah, yeah. So that it will now be basically their own choice to contribute to the idea
Yeah,
or move forward.
yeah. And then collaborate beyond your country. Collaborate beyond your country. Be known everywhere.
Everywhere,
Be
yes.
known in Australia. Look for people in Canada. Look for people in America. Look for people in India, Africa, South Africa,
Mm-hmm.
Morocco, everywhere. There's no limit. Nobody is stopping you.
Yeah,
So
yes,
sometimes I
yes.
feel I don't use my freedom well enough. You're free to engage with anyone. We have X, we have LinkedIn, we have Threads, we have Instagram, we have Facebook. You can reach as many people as you want today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and collaborate beyond your country, build networks beyond your country. If people can see evidence of your work and trust your contribution, they will more likely hire you. They will more likely want to collaborate with you. They will more likely listen to you.
Yes, yes, correct. That's
Yeah.
very, very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true. So basically, your network is how wide and well how positively wide your network is. It greatly also
Yeah.
influences your global perception. So yeah, very true.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Okay, and so we'll take the last question and then allow for some time for the audience to ask some questions if they have any. So last
Yeah.
question would be, um, so how does one how does building a global credibility benefit a professional if they eventually say maybe they return back to your home country? Like, what would be like the professional benefits of both the home country themselves and even the professional, living a supposedly
Mhm.
better country and going back home?
Mhm. So, building global credibility, but then you decide to stay in your country because it's important, because we live in a global world today. I meet people on the street that are from Zambia, Mozambique, Burundi, Rwanda, America. We live in a global world. So even if you choose to stay in your country, people are coming to your country, you know?
Hmm.
And even if you decide to stay in your country and you have a global credibility, then even better. You have the advantage of getting remote jobs.
Yeah. Okay.
You have the advantage of people contacting you to ask questions about your country. There's this website called Guide Point. It's for consultants, and I get $200 jobs, $500 jobs, because people from America, people from India, business people want to come to Kenya and they want to start a business and they don't know who to talk to. And
Yeah.
instead of coming down looking for people, there are websites for consulting. And so I harness my international network that way, you know. So that's why I'm saying think outside the box. There are many tools out here, you know, that provide income. And the other thing is it's not always about you. Even if you have a global network, you can help someone else, you know. You can help someone else who needs that global network, someone else who needs. I mean, I've helped 3 Kenyans get nursing jobs in the UK with the people that I know in the UK.
Yeah.
So life is always about others. If you live
Hmm.
well with others, it will
Yeah.
always come
Come
back
back
and
to you. Yeah.
repay in a way or not. Yeah.
True. Fantastic. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Maureen. I mean, you've given so many amazing answers, and like I said, you have a wide range of experience, and over like
Yeah.
20 years. But
Yeah.
I think I will let some of the members of the audience ask questions if you have any,
Yeah.
and then we can
Yeah.
wrap it up. But thank you so much for this. All right,
Okay.
guys. If you have any questions, you can ask a question, type it in the chat, or use your mic if you have any questions.
You're welcome, Prince. I hope this is not the Prince that writes me emails. I'm joking. Obviously, you're not.
No, that's fine.
I'm just joking.
Thank you, Saba King. Thank you, Prince. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed the session. Yeah, Maureen was amazing. She answered all the questions very well. And
Yeah.
to be honest, I agree with lots of the points you mentioned here. Your global perception largely depends on what you've done away from
Mm.
your current employment. If you take away your work,
Yeah.
what is left? If I
Yeah.
think in the terms of global talent is more referred to as impact or sustained
Mm.
impact.
Mm.
So
Mm.
what impact would you have as would you leave like someone like Morina with a with a number of years of experience, has a book or has books, and is widely published. So such kind of evidences would definitely help to show your impact away and speak on your behalf, even when you're not even there.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing I wanted to add was about Nigerians and how
Mm,
Nigerians work together. It's amazing. I'm always wondering, why can't Kenyans be like Nigerians? Nigerians really promote each other. It's just a good culture. You're very community oriented, you're not individualistic, at least in most cases and in what I have observed. So with that, if I had that, I would be very far by now. I don't know. The sky would be
mm,
the limit, you know?
yeah,
So you have an advantage. You have an advantage.
yeah,
You have the advantage to work together. And once you work together, that's it. Game over.
hmm,
You can build whatever you want to build and it will be successful. So I want to leave you with that and for you to know, harness your strengths. Forget about your weaknesses. Build upon your strengths.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic,
And also
fantastic.
know your strengths. I know my strength is writing and critical analysis. Know
Hmm.
your strength. What are you strong in? Everybody has a strength. Whether you know it or not, you have it. I had to ask a few people. I didn't know what my strength was. But when I went to university and I was doing so well in my essays, someone said, Maureen, you're very good in writing. And that's how
Yeah.
I just, my first book, I wrote it in 3 weeks and it's for more than 400 pages, you know?
Wow,
So,
that's impressive speed. Yeah.
find out what you're strong in, you know. It could be
Mm.
research, it could be bringing people together, and try to have as many strengths as possible so that your chances of success are
It's
higher.
higher. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And harness, there's only three ways of making money, let me tell you. Time. One second, I wrote it somewhere. Leveraging people, time, and money. That's the only three
Mm.
ways of making money. Leveraging people, leverage your time, and the money that you have. It doesn't matter where in the world you are. Just think, think. How can I leverage the people around me? Not your network, the people, because they need something. Then time. Use your time to make money, and then money itself. If you can hold as many events, be as visible as possible, just you're posting stuff. Today you're in Malaysia, tomorrow you're in Hong Kong, the next day you're in Sudan, you're in Kenya.
Yeah.
Use your money to make
Wisely.
money.
Yeah. And
So
extend your network. Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you
it.
so much, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for everyone that's come and that came to the session. Thank you, Maureen. Um, this session is recorded. I think we'll make it available for you guys to rewatch. Also, if you want to follow Maureen, she's very, very active on LinkedIn and I think on other social media platforms. Maureen, do you want to share your LinkedIn in the chat or do I send it to the
Yes.
group?
Yeah. Let me
Okay,
share.
yeah, you can put it in the chat. So you guys can follow Maureen and she's very responsive and very active on LinkedIn. And I'm sure, you know, it's always something to learn from her. To give her a moment. Didn't share yet.
I'm going to record my first episode of my podcast. I mean, I'm going to post it. It's already recorded. We
Yeah.
just posted it. but I'm posting it next week. Make sure you give it a watch and a like
Yes, guys,
and a
so please,
comment or
yeah,
anything. Yeah.
watch and comment. But
Thank
anyway,
you.
if you follow her LinkedIn profile, I think she'll definitely put an update there and you guys can see it there. But yeah, thanks, guys. Um, let's just give a few more seconds for anybody who has not clicked the link already before we wrap up the
Yeah.
session. Okay, guys, thank you very much. And like I said, this session will be made available for you guys to rewatch. And thanks again, Maureen. Thanks again, everyone, for coming. It was an amazing time with you guys. Yeah. See you again.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys. Yeah.